Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Greetings from Singapore. So my name is Meiyu, and together with my colleague Shereen, we are here to share about our journey in social media collecting, which we started actually in 2023. But just to let you know, as Tong has shared, our department also look after the legal deposit. And in 2019, we actually included it in our legislation which allows us to archive website ending in .sg domain without the need of permission from the owners. That helps a lot, by the way. So anyway, today we're not going to talk about that. So if you have any questions that are related to this area, you can kind of look for us anytime in the Migrin session perhaps later on. We started exploring social media archiving since 2017, and we were looking at what was out there, and we tested some practical experience that we gathered. So like Harry Tweets, we tested Twitter. We even engaged external vendors who do archiving services, so we paid them, like Page Freezer and Broadly. So gathering our lesson, we finally developed a framework in 2023 to mitigate the challenges that we face while ensuring that a representative set of social media content can be collected for future generation and research. Now, this was later converted into a guideline in 2024. And the guideline broadly covers 4 areas: our selection criteria, our collecting methods and the approach we use, as well as the access rights. Very quickly, social media for the selection criteria is divided into 2 areas. One is the platform, and another is the content. For the platform, how do we prioritize? One is how popular the platform is in Singapore. Is it very well used? The second is in terms of the content, does it offer some kind of social, cultural insights that would be useful to study Singapore society in the early 21st century? So, for example, if there's a YouTube video and a TikTok video, then we might prioritize collecting the YouTube video instead, even though we can collect TikTok as well. And of course, the ease of collecting the content, because I think we all know, as we mentioned several times in the previous presentation, there is a lot of challenges involved in collecting from the various social media platforms and the changes that happen as they develop. So yes, ease is one of our priority as well. For the content, we concentrate on accounts by certain personalities that we identify, organizations, or even related to certain events. Okay, collecting methods, we use 2 ways. One, harvesting. Harvesting is through the external vendors that I mentioned just now. That means we engage maybe Page Freezer or Broadly services to help us archive. Now, the good thing about this is they can collect more data points compared to contribution. For example, the comment section, which is very important because social media platforms are interactive interaction sphere for the public. But of course, the con part is you need to have budget to pay that. Now, the contribution, the good thing is, it's $0, but we require the owner to give us the consent, and he or she needs to download the files themselves and then pass it over to us. So they can only pass us their own content and activities. But copyright is not an issue over here then. For the approach, we have 3 tiers. Number 1, related to government side, political office holders. As highly influential personalities, we feel that it is critical to capture their interactions with the netizens, especially during elections periods. So we will prioritize using the harvesting method where resources permit. Now, tier 2 is we will target prominent organizations or personalities that we have identified. So how do we define? These are people or organizations that are widely recognized that has significant contribution to the areas they feel. So they use the contribution method to give us their files. Now, tier 3, everyday Singaporeans, you can understand it as something like the man of the street, because they may not be prominent, but they might have something that reflects useful reflection into Singapore society culture, but may not be captured in the mainstream media. So we felt that it is important that collecting such contemporary formats actually allow us to capture this diversity in our society. We might also select if the accounts, if they are related to nationwide events or special topics that could be in special projects that we are doing in that particular year. Our approach for YouTube video, we do not collect the entire account. Instead, we treat them as individual video files. How do we select them? Based on the trending videos that are mentioned in mainstream news. And of course, the content must meet the criteria of our selection policy. For the access rights, no matter it's through harvesting or the contribution method, this is generally what we offer. They can tell us whether they opt for online access or on-site access. Or we also offer embargo. So some of them will say none, some of them say embargo for 10 years. But do take note, because we started just 2 years ago, right now we do not have an access platform for the social media account we have collected. But it is work in progress. Okay, so here's something that we did. In the same year, 2023 and 2024, while we are trying to come out with our framework, finalize our guideline, we also did a proof of concept project. This one was public facing. So it doesn't only collect social media, it also collected websites and other paper-based materials that the National Library Singapore collects. But it was a good chance for us to test the reaction of the public when we approached them. Hey, can you give me your Facebook account, your Instagram account? So we learned a lot of lessons. Perception of public towards National Library Singapore collecting their accounts, which Shereen can share more later, I guess. So that's the project involved, Singapore Makan and Young Singapore, the poster on the right. Okay, with this, I hand over the rest to Shereen.
Okay, yep. Okay, so now I'll cover the collection strategy that we implemented. So following for our experience that we had for the last couple of years, we decided to make social media collecting as part of our operational work. So how we did this was through 3 strategies. So the first one is we actually outsourced the harvesting of our political office holder social media accounts to a commercial vendor. And then for the second approach, we do targeted collecting of prominent organizations, and this is based on subjects, and this is of course through the contribution method. And then thirdly, we did an engagement activity to try to promote social media collecting through a series of activities. So I'll share a bit more on the next couple of slides. Okay, so for the first one on the outsourced harvesting, we actually called a tender to purchase social media archiving, specifically for our cabinet ministers and president. So the reason why I think Meiyu has already mentioned earlier on why we did this was because harvesting could capture a lot more data points, which we felt was very important to capture, specifically for this highly influential people. So after our tender evaluation, we actually awarded the contract to Broadly Australasia. So this is an Australian company. Yeah, and then in October 2024. So their scope of work includes archiving up to 60 accounts from Facebook, Instagram, and X. And then every year they are supposed to export and transfer the archive data to us. And this archive data will be in JSON and CSV format, and also, of course, all the accompanying media, such as the images and videos that is being archived. And of course, the archive data are required to give us in certain mandatory metadata fields. So this include such as date and time of the record, whether this record is considered a post or a comment, and then the name of the person or the account who made that post, and of course, lastly, the text message. So anything extra is a bonus for us. Okay. So for the second strategy was the targeted collecting. So for our first year, we decided to focus on arts organizations in Singapore, primarily because we have a relatively strong arts collection in our library already, and we do have quite a good working relationship with some of them, so we felt that it was easier to approach them. So we reached out to about 30 organizations, and we had 9 organizations who gave us 12 Facebook and Instagram accounts. So these are just a screenshot of some of the contribution that we have received. Okay, so I move on to the third strategy, which is the engagement. So this was really a very first novel thing for us. So we are very, not many people know about social media collecting. So we wanted to come up with some kind of activities to try to educate the public and let them know that we are collecting beyond just the traditional print formats that people usually associate us with. So we did a couple of activities. One is through advocates, public talk, and then the annual public call. So this engagement period was for 5 months from September 24 to Jan 25. So yeah, for the advocates, this is the first time we also got external people to actually come and advocate for us. So the main objective is really to help promote social media archiving to their circle of friends and to their network. And then by sharing their own experience, we feel that this probably could be more personable, so maybe more relatable to the man on the street. And also by sharing on their platform, we hope to reach beyond our usual audience. Okay, so those that we approach are contributors from the Contemporary Collecting Project. out of it, we actually had 2 who decided to sign on for a 6 months term. So the first one we have here is Lin. She's a heritage consultant and a strong advocate for Chinese culture in Singapore. And the second advocate that we had was Kelly. So she's a textile artist who exhibited quite a number of her works at various avenues in Singapore. So for both of them, their deliverables include publishing posts on social media and or conducting a talk. So here's just a brief screenshots of some of the posts that they did. So for Lin, she was open to do 3 posts for us. So some coincide with the talks that she has done for us at the next slides I will show. And then for Kelly, she did a Instagram reel. So for us, we are quite flexible in terms of the deliverables, really just to suit their preference. Okay, so public talk, we did 2 during the period. The first one was in September. This was done by our librarian and Lin, our advocate. So for Lin, she actually shared a bit of the cultural work that she has done and how she has amassed over 100 terabytes of data and why it's very important for you to actually organize and preserve them and why she decided to contribute them to us. Then for our second talk, this was in November, done by me and myself. And for this, we actually did this in conjunction with the public call that we organized at the same time. So this is also, again, a very new thing for us. We wanted to try to canvass recommendation from the public to let us know what are some of the important Singapore websites, Facebook, Instagram accounts, or YouTube and TikTok video. But besides also getting recommendation, this is really just to create awareness, again, that we are collecting now very contemporary formats. So in terms of publicity, we market it mainly on our social platforms, so like our own Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. So we just did like normal posts and stories. But we did experiment with a 1-month media buy in January. So this really helped to boost our reach to a larger audience. So in total, we received about almost 19,000 clicks to our ad. And we received a total of 92 recommendations, and this is across all the formats mentioned. Okay, so learning points for our targeted collecting. Our success rate actually was only about 30%, and this is fairly similar to our experience with the contemporary collecting project, as well as any other kind of permission-seeking kind of initiatives. So our main takeaway was that we felt that most organizations or personalities who are not involved in heritage work tend to have less interest in actually contributing or see less importance in preserving their materials. And for those who actually were interested, a lot of times we also see that they find it quite difficult. They don't have the time to actually complete the contributions because most of the time they are quite busy with their own business operation. So this could either delay the contribution by a couple of months, or in the worst case scenario, they ghosted us. So okay, then for learning points for our second one, which is the engagement plan. For our advocates, although they did not reach, the reach wasn't as high as we had hoped, but we do feel that their posts were really very creative and had a really nice personal touch. And this is something that, as an institution, we probably wouldn't be able to achieve. So we felt that it was still quite a good approach. And then for the media buy, we saw that it actually brought in a lot more awareness, but not so much recommendation. But I think at this moment, this is not really an issue because really we are focusing on awareness and education about what we are doing. And for recommendation, of course, what is more important is really the quality of the recommendation rather than the quantity. Okay, so my last slide, our future plans. So we will continue to build our collection through the same few methods that we mentioned earlier. And then in the second half of the year, we are looking to ingest our collection into our digital preservation system. And then for access, as Meiyu mentioned, we are not planning to do any in the very short term, but we are looking at what are some of the possible ways that we could provide access and then work our way towards that. So this could be either through access to the raw file, whether building an on-site terminal, or whether we also want to build up data sets. Okay, so that's all from us. If you have any question, feel free to email us or ask us at the Q&A. Thank you.